Andrei Kuzmenko, 2 years, 5.5. Maybe we'll start get enough about me. What do you guys think about the signing here?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to me, it's like they have to sell something. They can't just sell nothing for next year. They got to sell something. And right now, the most kind of attractive thing to sell with this team, even prior to changing coaches, was Andrei Kuzmenko. So, and anybody that's been to a game, and I've been to a game this year, I mean, and he scored. I mean, the guy's electrifying. He's fun. He looks like there's a lot of potential there, and they were able to get this deal done fairly easily, it seems like. So it's a sign that he really wants to be in Vancouver, and that they needed something positive. And I know, again, that's short-sighted, and really that you're looking beyond the next 2 years. But you can't just throw out an AHL roster. If people think that's going to happen, it's just not going to happen. There is the institutional aversion to doing that from this. That's the term I've used. Even if ownership is willing to take a longer view and accept not being in the playoffs realistically for another 2 to 3 seasons, they still have to put something credible out there, especially if they're going to start moving around some other big names. So, I mean, what do people expect? Just don't sign anybody, just acquire draft picks and have plugs out there for the whole season next year. I mean, that's not going to happen. So I like the signing.
And that's not a successful model in my opinion either.
No, it's not creating a winning environment.
Yeah.
It's saying to your fans and sponsors that you don't care, and they're not going to do that.
Yeah, just ask Tim Murray how that goes.
Exactly.
Like, Buffalo did everything they could to tank for Connor McDavid, didn't get him, got Jack Eichel, and finally looking like they've got a bit of a future here.
Yeah.
And that's 7
how many years
ago.
down the road?
7, 8 years.
7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah. So it's Chicago's trying to do it. I don't think that's going to work out well for them. When you're trading away players like Alex DeBrincat and Kirby Dach, who are good young players that you can build around.
Yeah.
I think it's. I really like the signing. I would have liked one more year, personally, but I'm not going to quibble over that.
Yeah.
And there's still a chance that he'll sign another 2, 3, 4, 3 another deal after that, depending on where he's at, where the Canucks are at, and where the cap is at. There's still that potential.
And the other thing is too people are saying, well, it's either you're signing him and making a commitment, or they could have traded him for assets that longer term it might be more beneficial to the organization. Well, he doesn't have a full no trade protection. There's a 12-team, I think, no trade list. So there is the possibility to make a change in this regard down the road. And that's kind of being overlooked in all the discussion. That's why, can't put too much into the Twitter discussion. I mean, yes, it is something that we can find, and it's measurable, and there's real people. We know the passionate fans amongst the Canucks Twitter circle. However, people are in a very frustrated, agitated state right now. So some of the takes are going to be a little irrational, and that's just part of sports fandom when your team's not doing well.
Yeah, the way I looked at the Kuzmenko signing is that, yes, there are a lot of reasons to shit on the Canucks right now. The Kuzmenko signing isn't one of them. Do those other reasons affect the Kuzmenko signing? Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Are there other places?
What do you mean by that? Sorry, can you clarify what you mean by that? Sorry, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I understand what you mean.
What in terms of the all the other issues sort of affecting the Kuzmenko signing?
Yeah, are you saying that like this is part of the problem? Is this there's a negative vibe around the Canucks, so this is being looked at negatively, or are you saying?
I think that is part of it, but it's also the want for the major surgery, the want for the to see players go out and younger assets and draft picks come in, and to see a major change within the core of this team. And we still have not seen that under this management team, and we're just over a year in since Patrick Allvin was announced as the GM of the Vancouver Canucks, and just a little bit more than a year, a little bit more, 13 months since Rutherford took over. So because all we've seen so far is they traded Hominick, brought in Dermott, traded Mott. They added in the offseason. They didn't make any like trades moving out players, but that's coming. I think there's an impatience here that I think is understandable, based off of where this team is and the whole previous regime and how you look at. I think we'll just say that, like, you look at who the Canucks played in the 2011 final, the Boston Bruins, and they're still rolling along, making the playoffs. I think all the years since then, made it to 2 cup finals since then, and they're looking like a one hell of a team this year.
Mm-hmm.
And the Canucks are this middling team that hasn't, just, again, no identity, no sort of direction. So I think it's a fair criticism, but but if you take that out and say, okay, where is this team going? And you know that we're, I would say, 90% certain that Bo Horvat's being traded. And then the other thing is the logjam on the wing too. I think that's part of it as well. You've got Brock Besser making 6.6. You've got for the next 2 years after this. I think that's the deal. And then you've got Connor Garland making 4.5 for another 3 years, I believe.
Yeah, so you got Besser 6.6. You got Connor Garland at 4.9 for 23
so
to 26. Yeah,
you've got that, and I think it's you look at that, and I can understand that the frustration with that log jam of higher priced wingers, and you have the right side of the defense that needs fixing. You need, just the whole defense needing fixing. You need depth. You need maybe some better depth as well. So I can understand why there's that frustration, but I just think you have to separate that out. I think this is a good signing short term, and it doesn't mean that they can't add those assets later on. Say it does take 3 years for them to become a more competitive team, and they are still potentially sellers in 2 years' time. They can still sell what is he turning? He'll be like a 29-year-old Andrei Kuzmenko at the deadline for a good return. And at that point, I think the cap's going to be will be higher, and there'll be more teams that aren't so cap strapped, and the return, actually, I think, will probably be better.
that was my thought on that too. Sorry, it's just because I tweeted that. I said I don't think that people, everyone that wanted that trade for Kuzmenko, I don't think you would have gotten you wouldn't have gotten what you think you would have gotten for Kuzmenko, especially at this trade deadline with the names out there right now. Like I would have been loath to give, if I'm another GM. I don't think I would have given a first round pick for Andrei Kuzmenko. Even if it was late, this as a UFA. Yeah, he scored 20 goals. This is his first season in the National Hockey League, and I'm approaching playoff time. I am loath to give up a first round pick for that. I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, I'm
But
with you, Kevin. I mean, he's relatively unproven in the NHL, right? Like, and that's typical thinking of a lot of people today is they don't care about being proven; they're about the here and now. And if you look at it in the here and now, then yeah, there's a trade to be made, and you start thinking about what the return might be. But I'm with you. I mean, that's looking at it from the Canucks perspective and the perspective of people out here. I mean, if you look around the league, is Andrei Kuzmenko really that big on people's radar? I don't know.